such an asshole.
Well, I should get a little background music. Oh, I got to turn it down. Got to turn it down. About 9. There we go. So, hey, you want a crazy take? Sit down, everybody. I'm glad everyone got their sitting down chairs. Somebody go fetch Beauregard. Get your smelling salts and your fainting couch. All right, sit down, okay? My radical, probably right, because the teachers are Democrats, right? So anything I disagree with you on, I'm a Nazi, right? My crazy radical Nazi-endorsed take is maybe teachers should stop sleeping with their students. Is that wild? What I love, it takes decades. I just wish the American population was a little bit faster, but it took my generation decades to realize that I wasn't just this comical Alex P. Keaton character back in the day, that there were maybe really good reasons I advocated things like balanced budgets and low taxes and fiscal responsibility and avoiding getting divorced and making sure you choose the right people to raise your kids. And maybe you should raise your kids instead of outsourcing them to people who fuck them. And it took, inevitably they came along. Oh, hey, you're right. And I'm wondering, at the same glacial pace, why is it taking so long for people to realize that teachers, generally, not all, of course, are generally a bad group of people, evil? I'm not saying they all have sex with their students, not by a long shot. But you do realize it's selection bias at the beginning. Think of the person who becomes a teacher. Usually it's a kid. You got to go to school for it. I don't know why, but you have to go to school to become that. You just spent 13 years watching someone teach. You can't figure that out. You can't mimic that. So you're a 17-year-old arrogant, lazy piece of shit. And you say, boy, I don't want to work for a living. What I'm going to do? Oh, I know. I'm going to be a teacher because I like working with children, which translation into English, I don't want to do math. And I get what? Summers off? Oh, my God. I just say, you never fucking leave school. You're in kindergarten, then you're 18. 13 fucking years of bullshit. Then you go to a different school where you pay for it. Oh, you get a student loan bailout, or maybe the government does. Because teacher, everything free. Then you go back to school, and they never worked a day in your life. Not a single day in your life. Never. Not in the outside world, anyway. And for those of you wondering why teachers think they have such a hard job, because they've never, laid sod. They've never been shot at in war. They've never put out a fire. They really work so hard. Shut up. So in this already lower quality, lower caliber cabal of humans, geez, you're surprised that now all of a sudden it's just a spate of articles. I'm like, what is going on? Teachers having sex with their students. Why? Look. I guess we all have dark desires, at some level. But your brain should know, even the dumbest among us, you should know not to take action on those dark desires. Okay, I'll give you a perfect example. I'll give you a dark desire. I could literally kill all day. I could just, the boomer who stops in the middle of there's something going on with the boomers where they just decided like a flash mob to do a dance routine. They all just decided in the past 2 years to stop at the entrance and exit of every Walmart or Target and just stop. Once they get through, they just stop. Oh, I could push them into traffic. I could so push them into traffic. I don't know what other groups of people that I would have no problem having them meet God early. You know the type. Just okay, but you see, I don't act on it, and not even necessarily for moral reasons. Just the main reason is I'd end up in jail. That's the main reason. And I'm sure down the road, I'm like, well, should I have really pushed Gertrude into that oncoming truck? I probably might feel bad after. There might be some moral ramifications, but it's a distant second as to why I wouldn't. It really is just to avoid jail. It really is. Where did you think that was going to end up? Where did you think having sex with our children, I'm not going to call them your students, they're our children, even though I don't have kids, they're our children, and they are children. Where did you think that was going to end up? Where did you figure that was going? Just help me out with that. Was your life so consequence-free that you could get away with everything? And I think if you look at it, it's all hot chicks. Now, yes, there are other people having sex with our children. But it's always the hot chicks. Like, and a plausible theory is like, okay, so you're a hot chick. So no one's told you no in your life. So you've never known consequences. And this is what you screw up on. It's not wrapping the convertible cabriolet that your dad bought for you around a tree. No. You start having sex with our kids. Now, intellectual honesty, I do have to admit this. I do it. The fact I have to do this video. Hey, maybe you ought to not be having the pokey poke with the kids. Or the, in most cases, it's not the pokey poke, it's the opposite. In intellectual honesty, I did look it up because a couple of years ago, there seemed to be another wave of teachers having relations with students, our children. And I said, is this statistically significant? So I looked up the number of teachers, and I can't remember the statistics exactly, but there's something like 3 million teachers. There's a lot of teachers out there. And the instance is not, or at least when I ran it back then, is no higher than any other profession. And shut up. By the way, you low IQ teachers, please shut the fuck. Oh, by the way, please go defend it. I love. Oh yeah. What about priests? It's the classic argument where students are arguing for a student loan bill. What about the bankers? What about the bankers? They shouldn't have gotten it either. Oh, is it? Oh, what about Pol Pot? He got away with killing all those people. We should be able to get away with mass murder and genocide too. If someone else got away with it, that means it's okay for us. So people come in and, oh, what about priests? What about priests? What about them? Okay, sure. Did that happen? Probably. I didn't look into it. I'm just going to assume, which is erroneous on my part. But for the sake of yeah, and? So now you want carte blanche to do it too? Anyway, I went back and I looked, and it wasn't anything more than what you'd find in any other profession. But god damn, in the past couple months, holy shit, was what the latest teacher conference? Kid Diddling 101? Maybe now it's more statistically significant. But guys, teachers are not your friends. I don't know how long I've been saying this. Will you go to a fucking prison for 13 years with a bunch of people who don't really like kids? They're just trying to avoid real work. They do a shit-tacular job at it. And then you wonder, oh my God, really? Really? But how, are you starting to really? Back when I was young, teachers are great. They're like little wonderful people. They're just there. There's the apple on it. No, these are assholes. These are lazy assholes who didn't want to work a real job. And at the end, they don't really like kids. In some other ways, I can actually understand it. But these aren't people who actually give a shit about your children. They're lazy government workers who want an easy job. And on top of it, they're indoctrinators. Oh my God, I can't believe what my kid brought home in the backpack. Teachers are not your friends. Teachers don't like America. Teachers aren't here to help out society. They're here to push a fucking... Okay, first, they're there for an easy fucking job. Second, they're there to push an agenda. Third, some of them have some interest in your children, apparently. And fourth, maybe fifth, 10 miles down the road, There might be the feigned attempt at educating your children. If they educate them, it ain't in anything important like doing taxes, or it's just like touchy-feely Marxist dick-sucking bullshit. And here I am. I was like Calvin and Hobbes with Mrs. Wormwood. I knew she was the enemy. I knew. Like, these people are bad. Maybe not outright evil, but they're bad. How did you not see that? They're teachers. Oh, teachers can't be bad. No, they're the most wonderful. And then to put the cherry on the top, Exhibit L, as to how just worthless most teachers are. Do you see how much they suck their own dick? Oh my God, we're amazing. We're just wonderful. Shut the fuck up, you part-time government working lazy stooge. Anyone that all up about themselves, about a job that is nothing more than like slightly more than babysitting, honest to God, these people are assholes. Assholes. And can you all wake up? Can you guys get hip? Look, we all went to school, right? Do you remember school? Do you remember your teachers? I've done this. I went back and I added up all the teachers I had, including professors, something like 89 teachers I had. 3 were worth a shit. 3. The vast majority were unmentionable. And then there were some where it's like, oh yeah, Persian Gertrude in front of the truck. Just evil, mean, unhappy people. Oh my God, the education is shit. Well, why don't you put your kid in private school? That costs money. Why don't you homeschool him? But we have an SUV and a lot of shit we want to own. All right, I guess owning shit's more important than your kid. Honest to God, you look at these poor zillennials. It's down with millennials, but now let's go to the zillennials or the Zoomer types. Oh my God, they're not working. Oh, they have no skills. Whoa. You had these kids for 13 years. You couldn't teach them one fucking skill. They got to go back to school for 4 more years. Then they might get qualified for an entry-level job. What the fuck were you doing for 13 years? And I know, unfortunately, the problem is it's not just like you got parents that just don't give a shit about their kids. If I had, and I don't even have kids. I have to pay the taxes to send other people's kids to school because everyone's strong and independent and don't need my money, except they do. And I say, okay, we sent these kids to school for 13 years. What do they come out at? I hate white men like you. Fuck off. I need more money to go to more school. Fuck you. Dude, they're worthless. It's a worthless fucking system. It's, oh my God, teachers are sleeping with the kids. Oh my God, okay, yeah, that's bad. What about sending these kids to a 13-year prison sentence? Oh, they're not socialized correctly. Fuck that shit. The schools are a fucking insane asylum. They're getting fucked up. Oh, you're going to develop your social skills. What, to be an arrogant, cocky prick? To think, oh, I got to have the fancy shirt? Or to learn Marxist leftist bullshit indoctrination? What exactly do they get there? Oh my God, there was a shooting. There's another school shooting. You know where they know how you eliminate that? Homeschool. You eliminate the scourge of school shootings is over. It's done. Seriously, you look back when you went to school. What fucking good came out of that is this, oh, you gotta socialize your kids. That is the worst fucking place to socialize people. Where the concept, you go to a place to socialize. Usually there are some rules and a system and a structure that forms socially speaking. And from what I remember, all it was who are the popular kids with the right clothes? Oh, did you say the right thing? You want to talk about one fucked up value system, one fucked up system of philosophy. Go to a school. Have a bunch of little kids with the Lord of the Flies value system installed there. Fuck that shit. If you love your kids, for God's sake, consider homeschool. I know not everyone can afford a private school, but for God's sake, homeschool them. Or like maybe kindergarten to 5th grade, but get them the fuck out of there. They're not learning anything. They don't have any valuable skills. I've said this a million times before. If you get your kid when they're about 12 or 13, you say, all right, son, we're going to learn how to do accounting. We're going to start taking college courses online. We're just going to learn to self-certify, become an enrolled agent. Me and Chad talked about this. You could have an actual college degree by the time you're 18. Like in a real field. You have to wait for the rest of the freaking slowpoke moron kids to like, okay, I guess I got to stick around here till I'm 18. God almighty. And you sure the fuck aren't going to pick up any schools or education or valuable talents in school, because if you did, we wouldn't all have to go to college. You just bypass this fucking shit, move on with your life. It's like what would it be? I know they all make fun of the kids on the short bus, but isn't all of K through 12 high school or K through 12 school, isn't all more or less a short bus? Isn't it all like American education? Oh, just sit here, don't push your... We have AP classes. Shut up. Yeah, but you can't get college credit for that, right? Because you got to go pay the college the money. I remember that. I had AP like, oh, I got my... Well, that allows you to skip a class, but you still got more credits. Fuck you. Money grubbing whores, all of you. So just a request, okay? I know you teachers, I know your true motives. You're lazy. You don't want to work hard. You want summers off. You don't give a flying fuck about education. It's all about you. And you probably have a very close second motivation or ulterior motive of brainwashing kids into socialism. I get it. But can you stop having sex with our children? Could you at least take the time to put on the veneer? Could you do a little work on PR maybe? By all means, keep going, man. Just keep on going. Because the teachers don't have the reputation they used to, like in the 50s or 60s. Oh, it's Mrs. Krabappel. You know, the Simpsons kind of Principal Skinner, that's over. That's over. Bunch of adult fucking children. Oh, Vlad Oakums is in the house. Lem's Handling Pro. Yeah, no, it's where did you go, Austin? Here you are, Austin. Most valuable shit I learned at school was a few weeks of personal finance. The rest, video editing, graphic design. Yeah. Mark, listen to me. Listen to me. No truer words have been stated than this. You can replace teachers with YouTube. You can. Heck, the teachers don't teach you anything anyway. What you learn wouldn't be in the curriculum of school. How to replace an alternator, how to do basic mechanics, how to do your taxes. What the fuck is that? Oh, do I get to learn? God almighty, the number of English classes you got to take when you're a native English speaker just to employ some fat 58-year-old spinster with their master's degree. Holy shit. Could you imagine what would happen if we actually took education seriously and challenged our kids, and we could have kids graduating with skills and talents at 16? Whatever problems we got now would be solved. I guarantee you. No, let's just... Who came up with 13 years? And doesn't it seem like an absurd amount of time? 13 years. 13 years, starting at 5. 5. Hey, kid, do you like that doll? Well, fuck you. You're going to learn your... Oh, we got a couple super chats. So I can pay today's super chats go to property taxes, so I can pay a bunch of overpaid babysitters to watch over some unloved kids, so mom and dad could go work some extra money so they could pay the 21% car loan on their SUV so they could be popular with the other fucking morons. You think you're better than me? Did you get that? Did you get that today? Did you go back home? I got that. I have one particular person. You think you're better than me? Yeah, actually I am. Alex Carney, $10 decided to quit job and do recon, man. I did a request to you a few weeks ago, having fun, and got an offer to go back to the old job I love. Only pays $90,000, but low stress and will give me time to consult. See, look, how much do you need, Alec? I mean, if you had a family of 5 and you actually loved your children and want to homeschool, I'm like, okay, well, that $90,000, you need that. But if you're a single guy, you don't need more than that. I'm not a socialist. I'm not saying that, you should just contribute the rest to the public schools. I can't say it. I like the guy. I can't say it. Never mind. No, it'd be a funny joke, but I like the guy, so I can't say it. I'm just saying, what are they teaching at those schools nowadays, huh? Are you preparing them for OnlyFans? That's probably what the teachers are doing. They're preparing the kids for OnlyFans. Fuck. But yeah, at 90,000, you can. That's more than enough for a single guy. What do you need? You don't need no fancy stuff. And you could go do reconnaissance, give you time to consult. I don't know, maybe just have some fun. If it stopped fucking raining out here, I'd go hiking. Federal Reserve has committed treason. $2. What a racket. What racket is worse, war or public education? Well, I hate to give you the clinical answer. Depends on the war. And over what time period. See, like with war, they had the 100 Years' War or the 30 Years' War. They had wars that last decades. And so when you tally up the total cost of that, that makes any kind of a multi-generational war is pretty all destructive. So in that case, yes. But compare what we spend on education, which is about 1.2 trillion a year. Half goes to college, the other half goes to K through 12. I'd have to look up the data more recently. That's every year. And then I guess they said, we wasted $1 trillion in Iraq. I'm like, okay, so like 1/15 the amount of money we pissed away on education. So from a financial perspective, here and now, assuming the war don't go too long, mathematically speaking, it's education is a bigger racket. But then when you factor in the cost of human lives, you're ending thousands, maybe unfortunately millions of lives, depending on the war. Whereas with education, you're only ruining 13 years of every kid's life. One would argue maybe even more when you look at the millennials. Education is the number one thing that destroyed the millennial generation. That was the biggest scourge, the biggest thing that held them back and crippled them. So one might argue, okay, well, they only went to school for 17 years, K through college, but it was at least another 17 years of wandering in the desert. Now they're in their younger 40s, late 30s, and now maybe they're just starting to make headway. So you could argue, yeah, you wasted 17 plus 17, that's 34 years of their life, all their youth. That's pretty tragic too. But racket, yeah, it depends on the war. But education is up there. You want to talk about a pissing away of money, education is up there. War is horrifically destructive. There's no more destructive thing than war. You're wasting your money, killing other people, destroying each other's ability to produce economics and wealth and get people out of poverty. Education is just, there's no necessarily destructive aspect to it. You're merely pissing away everyone's time and money. Although, if you look at consequences, the teachers are really good at getting everyone to vote Democrat, and down the road, you just won't have no food. And the only thing more destructive than war is communism. Like, the Nazis were like, hey, we killed a bunch of people during World War II. And the communists are like, oh, yeah, you did that during wartime? Watch this. Hold my beer. Check out how many people we kill in peacetime without trying. So I guess in a way, the leftist education they're getting will end up killing more people down the road. Because those teachers who never set foot in the real world and just, oh my goodness, shouldn't it be just great if everything was free? What do you mean there's no food? What do you mean don't have sex with my students? What are you talking about? What do you mean no? What do you mean no? What's no? Don't you know who I am? I'm Trisha. I have a college degree. I'm a teacher. All right, there you go. That's it. Link below, Worthless, Young Person's Indispensable Guide to Choosing the Right Major. For God's sake, get your kids out of the schools. Toodles.